And that brings us to News or Snooze, presented by Christopher William Jewelers. Bennett will give me 3 quotes. I'll decide if they're newsworthy or snoozeworthy.
All right. First quote. This is from Mark Byington. We went into the game knowing that we had to play off 2 feet and knowing that we had to shot fake. And I didn't do a good enough job coaching and getting that message across to our guys. That was what we emphasized, and we didn't do it.
Newsworthy, very newsworthy, because it makes sense on what happened in that game. There's a lot of drives to the basket, a lot of floaters in the lane, a lot of trying to attack the paint against the best shot blocking duo in the Sun Belt, one of the top shot blocking duos in the nation. And boy, did they feast. Boy, did they alter shots. And boy, did they rebound. The JMU did not get a lot of second chance opportunities because App State out rebounded them by 11 or 12. That is kind of eye popping. Not a great stat. And that this has now been 2 eggs laid on Saturdays. Byington's got to figure out a way to get home his coaching message between Thursday's win or Thursday's game and the Saturday game, because you had an emotional win against Louisiana. You laid an egg against Southern Miss. You had a blowout win against South Alabama. Kind of laid an egg against App State.
All right. Next quote, Xavier Brown. I think it's my job to come off the bench and just provide a spark. Thoughts on that? Thoughts on this point guard controversy? Would that mess up the vibe of Brown being the bench spark plug?
Yeah, I think actually Brown kind of has to stay on the bench to be that spark plug. And from there, like you saw Cam Crawford for Marshall, he's a bench player and he gets a ton of minutes. I'm not saying that Xavier should eat into the Michael Green minutes. I think there's ways you can have them both on the floor and have them both be productive at the same time. I think Xavier Brown has started to gain more minutes and he should be trusted more by this coaching staff. And boy, is he a spark plug and he does his job well. There were times that he's guarding the player with one arm and he's hyping up the crowd with the other. And this is coming right off the heels of Bennett questioning who the energy guy was for the team. And Xavier Brown said, watch this.
One of the bigger just mental lapses for me of the season is like looking around when they're trailing in the first half being like, I just don't know who the guy is that provides the emotional lift. Having spoken to you earlier about how like after Brown makes a shot, he's immediately like gets
clapping and
people's faces. Yeah. So
shout out his dad real quick.
His dad.
Shout out Xavier Brown's dad. I mean, at one point Xavier hits his second 3 of the night and his dad, who wasn't in his seat, and you'll know where Xavier Brown's dad is sitting because he's in an Xavier Brown jersey. And you look over and his dad's running down the stairs, coming back down to his seat with the awesome. 3s chucked up, dancing. That was awesome. But I forgot what I was saying about Xavier Brown. Spark plug indeed.
Spark plug. Incredible atmosphere for the game. This quote goes off of that. The building was humming, and I swear you could feel the electricity down the tunnel, and it only just grew from there. Man, our fans showed up in a big way. For 2 years now, that building has been rocking. It was different today. That was a whole nother level.
That was Dan Campbell with the Detroit
That was
Lions.
Dan Campbell with the Lions talking about what was happening in Ford Field. Wanted to see if I can get you there, but I didn't.
The only reason you didn't was because right before we were doing this, I forgot what show I was watching. They played that exact sound bite.
I almost cut out the tunnel part, but they have less of a tunnel. I feel like in basketball arenas, you're just basically in the locker room.
That could have been. I mean, that AUBC was rocking. The bank was electric. It was open on a Saturday afternoon, and we had a great time there. I mean, it was an electric atmosphere. Probably Dan Campbell would have been impressed.
I love college basketball.
I do too.